Hello, love. Welcome to your, I'm going to call this a special edition of confirmation messages for the ELSH Collective, Empaths, Lightworkers, Starseeds, Healers, Awakened and Awakening Souls. Always timely, yet timeless messages for your highest and greatest good and in your highest and greatest truth. I'm calling this a special edition because it is timely in the sense that it is going to be for the summer solstice here in North America, the celebration of Litha. If you are a pagan practitioner or work with those energies, the cyclical energies of Momma Gaia, you do not need to identify with that for this video to connect with you or resonate with you in any way. Know that always, if this video has found you and or you have found it, because it goes both ways, there's something here for you. And I am working specifically here with the energies of Archangel Sandalphon and Archangel Raphael. When they come together for these readings, they are very connected to earth healing when that happens. Archangel Sandalphon is very much connected to grounding the light for me. He brings light energies and light codes and assists us in grounding those energies into the earth plane, into Momma Gaia, energetically and physically. And Archangel Raphael, being God that heals and the ultimate healing energy, when those two come together, we're talking about the energy here of light codes and light code healing. And especially what they're showing me right now is a rebalancing of the light code energies that are hitting Momma Gaia. Okay, I always use that term hitting because the visual that I constantly get with that is, you know, when you see, and they're showing me now biophotons, you know, when you just see the light hitting the water, right? It's always that visual for me, that almost two things in a sense coming together and reflecting off of one another, but also being absorbed by the other as well. Okay, so I don't mean that in any like violent way, but you know, language sometimes it's more about how I'm saying it and the nuances behind it versus and the energy that you're picking up, obviously. It's like 10% the words and 90% the energy that you're picking up on, okay? So we've also got the energies of Commander Ashtar coming through for this message as well. And I hear it, he gave me just a few notes that I've taken here before starting to record. He gave me specifically this phrase, solar insights. He wants me to use this phrase, solar insights, for us to understand more the sun as a star, the sun being a star, our star, here incarnated on earth and feeling at home wherever you are, Starseed, Lightworker, Empath, Healer, okay? Because without getting too much into the distractions is what I'm hearing. There is a lot that we could potentially be distracted by here on earth that makes us feel like we're completely at odds with this place, that wants to isolate us in a way. And they keep on showing me the symbol. I'm just gonna get my chalkboard out here. They keep on showing me the symbol here of the sun. Don't mind the magnets, but they want me to write it really big here. Got a few little magnets sitting here. Okay, so this is what they keep on showing me. So in astrology, right, and they're showing me that it even goes beyond that, but we're not going to get into that for the sake of timing in this video, of course, as always. And not just timing. It's funny when I say that, what they mean here is they don't want us to get off the point of the topic here, okay? Because there's many interpretations for this particular symbol. But specifically for the message that is coming through is you being at the center of your own universe and understanding this not in an egotistical way, but understanding this in terms of unity. Understanding this in terms of one singularity and the point from which we all originally, energetically emerge from. And this mirrors or reflects or parallels the energy of the sun and understanding the sun as a source of power. I'm healing as a source of hearing and healing, okay? Power, healing, balancing, rebalancing, and it being at the time of me recording this message, it is June 20th, so this is the day before the summer solstice here in North America, and I am recording this message Earth time, 6:26 at the moment, okay? They want me to put that in. It's like star date, literally. That's what they've been, I keep on, and that's a thing where it's been challenging for me to remember that. There's something significant in that also. But essentially, when we understand that we are all under the same sun. So meditating upon the sun, and even the moon for that matter, it's interesting that they're giving me both this. I'm seeing a full moon and the reflection of the moon and the light of the sun. So this can be a very, very simple practice, what they're saying to me, in times of despair, in times of not understanding, in times of feeling very lost, in times of when we go down the sort of those rabbit holes or those spirals of feeling very not at home here, of feeling at odds essentially with what is going on here. But essentially, they're also, disclaimer, they're also kind of putting in parentheses what is also being presented to us here. Okay? The illusion, thank you, Commander Ashtar, that's being presented to us here to remind us all of this point of unity. This also represents for me very much, and I'm in complete resonance with this and what they're showing me, is this being you and your energy and how it expands and reverberates, okay? This being a representation of the energy of your soul, your blueprint, your potential for expansion, because they want us to see the sun in that way. And the sun being synonymous with the soul as the self. So we're not differentiating here. This is not the self in a very typical egotistical way, okay? This is your whole self, holistically yourself, okay? I am working with the energies here of this prophecy stone. I hope you can see that there. We're going to talk a little bit about that before we get into the cards. And also being directed to work here with this Kundalini citrine. This Kundalini citrine. These are energies that you can work with around this time. And desert rose, because one of the things that they really want to bring through here with this desert rose in combination with the citrine and with the prophecy stone is differentiating and understanding where your own energy stops and begins in relation to other energies that might be trying to siphon your energy or take hold of your energy or manipulate your energy in a dysfunctional way, okay? Working with Desert Rose in general in meditation is also, they're showing me very grounding of the light, okay? Meaning it grounds you in your authenticity is what I'm hearing. Hence this being able to differentiate what is yours energetically and what is not yours, okay? Prophecy stone. I've spoken about this stone before. This stone is very, it's electrical. I won't say electrifying is the right word here. It's electrical and magnetic at the same time. And what do I mean by that? Working with this crystal or working with the frequency simply of grounding the light and grounding light codes is very much like that, because we're we're like conduits of energy. So there's an electricity or a magnetic field at the same time working in tandem with each other, where we are pulling down or pulling in, is how Commander Ashtar is showing it to me. Kind of like this diagram again, this symbol, where here we are, and we are, you can see this in many different ways, right? Are you pulling this in or are you pushing this out, and how this happens simultaneously? This is another way of understanding how the law of polarity actually works in unity. How the law of polarity actually works in unity. Where there is a magnetic force, there's a field that's constantly working in tandem with itself. Okay? And I'm going to stop there because that is opening up a whole other topic for conversation. But these are specifically channeled messages, confirmation messages, soul support messages, right? For this summer solstice. Because there's a lot of information floating around right now. And I'm just feeling that, because this always happens at this time of the year where, somebody's saying one thing and somebody's saying another thing. Always take what resonates. And be and when I say that, I mean what feels right for you, what feels like it's falling into place for you, versus what is not, okay? And really trusting your own self, your own discernment, your own intuition around what is actually going on. In the last video that I posted, it had to do with time being wonky. Commander Ashtar is confirming that again. He's showing me the images of two galaxies, and I'm hearing galaxies colliding. But what he's saying, oh my God, he's showing me this symbolically as your inner galaxy, your inner universe, interacting with the external universe, and we're putting that in quotation marks because of our physical reality here on Earth. And there's like nothing to poo-poo on that or like judge as being, oh, that's so bad, because separation exists for a reason, and for a very profound reason at that. That does not mean that we remain constantly in a kind of separation consciousness. It's sort of like the similar energy of being able to alchemize shadow energies, right? When we alchemize separation, there's a reason for it. There's a reason for it existing. And part of that is also very much connected to this concept of discernment and learning. Interesting. I'm even hearing the phrase cutting through the bullshit. I'm seeing the Queen of Swords, actually, interestingly enough. That energy is coming through with regard to that. Okay. It's this concept of detachment, but not in a way where we are devoid of connection. We know we're connected. We understand that we are part of a unified whole, but we are able to sort of pull ourselves back to see the bigger picture, to see it from the third perspective. And this has a lot to do when we become emotionally involved in something. It's interesting because a lot of the energies that are coming up that I'm feeling around this have to do with like your beliefs, especially on, in terms of your politics, what you believe politically, what you believe in terms of what is clear-cut right and wrong, especially from a religious standpoint, okay? That's what I'm being shown here. So it's this idea of being able not to get wrapped up in the sensationalization of polarity, but instead to be able to take a step back. And we could almost use, instead of the word detachment, because I understand that sometimes people hear that word and it can be jarring because we think again, oh, we're separating from something, or we're not connecting when we're detaching, right? But it's more of, think of it in terms of an energy of seeing things holistically, seeing all the moving parts at work. And instead of being in the subjective aspect of it, we are a little bit more objective. That doesn't mean that we're not coming from the heart or seeing things very logically, although logic does play a role, right? It's about a balance and a harmonization of those things. That's probably the biggest thing that I can bring through for this message. We're going to be asking through the Green Witch Tarot and this Mystical Wisdom card deck as well, because going back to this energy of harmonization, that's exactly what we are experiencing right now on the other end of, I'm hearing the wheel of the year, right? The year. This is the time when energy is amped up in North America, and depending on where you are, the sun is at its ultimate point, right? And I'm hearing recharging our batteries. This is a very, very good time, especially for some of us that work more cyclically, to be doing lots of work or being more productive versus the winter solstice, right? Where we are in the darkest days of the year. And Commander Ashtar is using this as an analogy to understand the human experience, the cyclical natures of Momma Gaia, the ebb and flow of things, reestablishing and rebalancing the energies of the divine feminine in that as well. Everything being in cycles. Okay, I'm going to start by asking through the Green Witch Tarot first. For any kind of confirmation messages, Commander Ashtar, for the collective, the ELSH collective, and of course for the collective at large, right? Because if you and I and all of us are good, then all of us are good, right? Any kind of insights, solar insights. He's showing me that Kundalini citrine again. Okay, he's showing me the energy of the citrine and how citrine is one of those crystals that, according to certain sources, does not need to be cleansed. It's actually quite, and as I said that, a bunch of cards just jumped out. Interesting. Okay. And it's funny because what he's showing me is sometimes cleansing and charging can actually be the same thing. This is a thing that's been coming through lately with regard to the transmutation of energy, which I think is really fascinating because in many spiritual traditions, okay, and especially in sort of a lot of quote unquote new age practices, it's always about like clearing the negative energy, clear the energy, clear the energy, clear the energy. Well, where the frick does that energy go? Because energy doesn't die. And this is something that's come up recently and a lot, and it's been coming up a lot. They keep on emphasizing this energy of alchemy, this energy of you take what it is perhaps that is dysfunctional or perhaps which is not something that you're finding difficult or dense to work with, okay? That you also know requires transmutation, or requires some kind of change, and you take that energy and you transmute it. So it's like you're using it as fuel. You're using it as like, I'm hearing like knowing what needs to be integrated or individuated. Psychologically, you're understanding it from the perspective of it being very aware and conscious psychologically that you are like, this is not in alignment with how I feel or want to be, okay? And you're taking that energy as fuel. That in and of itself, that act of recognizing, I don't want this, and understanding at a very deep level why you do not want it, or knowing that this is not healthy for you anymore, that in itself is an act of alchemy. So the awareness around it, and it's interesting because in the sun, she's directing me to hold this up here. When we're working with these energies here of citrine, okay, this beautiful Kundalini citrine, which is interesting because this is also talking about life force energy here, the energy of the snake and shedding its skin, the coiled snake that sits at the base of our spine, that sits at our root, okay? This is about understanding the energy here of transformation and transmutation as, in essence, understanding your own true life force, energy, and authenticity. And there has to be a willingness to do this because it's connected to the solar plexus. And the solar plexus, I'm just seeing yellow, yellow, yellow. Everywhere I turn in the room, like, he's directing me yellow book, like yellow. There's a card that I have out here, and, it's the Queen of Swords, funny enough, from the Everyday Witch Tarot. And she's wearing like a yellow robe in that, and that's what he's also directing me to the energy of air with that too. In different pagan traditions, the yellow energy or yellow color ray is associated with air. Okay. It can also be the sky blue. That's also another thing. And I'm even seeing white with that, like clouds and air-like energy. And there's a lot of silver energy coming through with that as well. A lot of that is Commander Ashtar, and a lot of that is connected to the throat and the energy of expression, the energy of truth. Okay? And coming back to this Queen of Swords and her discernment, her clarity. Traditionally, she's depicted in the Rider-Waite-Smith as being above the clouds in a clear blue sky. And we only see her from the side. We see her from a profile view. And she is the one queen that holds that sword upright, right? In addition to the Ace of Swords and the Justice card. So it's this idea of, I'm hearing upright thinking. And that's another way of saying clarity. Maybe that's a specific confirmation for some of you. Okay, we've got the Standing Stone coming through. That is the Justice card. Beautifully fitting. The Eight of Pentacles. A lot of us have been working on this, which is a really beautiful thing to see. How we are integrating this discernment in our physical reality. That's huge. And there's something here with this solstice energy that can be incredibly supportive in that. So if you've been working on your discernment, they're showing me the energy of the third eye now and the solar plexus, like a lot of clairsentience and clairvoyance with that in terms of just working on those energy centers in terms of picking up the right information, not the illusory information. So a lot of that for some of you might be seeing the truth in plain sight because of the third eye, or your gut just telling you what's up, right? Queen of Chalices coming through as well. She's right at the center of this read with the Five of Chalices and the Two of Wands. Let's see what's at the bottom of the deck. And I'm going to get to the Sun is at the bottom of the deck. The clarity of truth is what I'm hearing. They're really pointing me to the sunflowers in this particular card. They're also pointing me to the fact that 19 reduces to a 10, which is the Wheel of Fortune. And these cards are connected. And Commander Ashtar is really wanting to emphasize here the cyclical nature of time and the cyclical nature of time here on Earth. And again, he's directing me to seeing the sun as a star than just the sun. And coming back to this concept of unity consciousness, coming back to this idea of us being another part of a massive whole. And when I say that, oh my God, that's so crazy. I'm literally like, he's going like, okay, so we're talking super galactic and galactic center here because I'm seeing the word whole, but I'm also seeing whole like this play on words like holistic. Oh my goodness, that's a whole other topic for conversation, because a lot of what we see, this is about turning perceptions of the void and these supermassive black holes on their head, but also more importantly, understanding the magnetism of them. So just like we're pulling in the light, our light is a magnet for the light codes. And one of the main sources of that obviously in our galaxy is the sun, okay? Which is, again, a star, okay? So this is interesting. What the thing is that I feel that there's something really, really specific he wants to bring through with regard to this particular time of the year. Because he's showing me that this is timeless in terms of any day of the year. We are always connected to the sun. Always, right? We always see it. And funny enough, he's saying to me, even if it's cloudy, even if it's been cloudy for weeks, wherever you are, there is light coming through. He's also showing me a collective of energy that is working energetically and frequency-wise to clear up the skies. And if you know what I'm talking about this because of the technological interference is what I'm hearing in terms of the geoengineering that's going on with regard to the skies. And more importantly, I'm feeling the energy of Momma Gaia really coming through for that. And it's coming through like a mama bear energy where it's like, please don't fuck with me. That's not cool. She's so much more powerful than we give her credit for. And it's so interesting because there's so many well-intentioned people, and that's a good thing, well-intentioned people who are taking it upon themselves in certain ways that unfortunately I'm also hearing some of them are convoluted, right? Some of them are not exactly... We won't get into that though. Here's what he's saying to me. Okay, we're going to stop there. We won't get into that. So there are well-intentioned people who are, oh man, I'm hearing taking on a savior complex when it comes to Momma Gaia, but she is no victim. She is no victim whatsoever. And it's almost like people are seeing her as a victim, or they're approaching her with that energy, and she's like, I'm not a victim. I'm not a victim. I've been around here a lot longer than you have, with all respect and with all love to your intentions, but know that I can also take care of myself. But I'm hearing that this is a symbiotic relationship, so that doesn't mean in any way we're like, okay, you're good, Momma Gaia, go do your thing. Not at all. Not at all. But it's more of an energy and a frequency is what they're bringing through to me about working with her energetically, working with her elementally. Got the energies of the Fae coming through for that too. They keep on wanting me to show this 5 of chalices. This is what we're alchemizing. One of the main things that we are alchemizing right now is sadness, pain, loss, going through a dark night of a soul when it comes to this. But what I'm also seeing here simultaneously is this beautiful woman making an offering to Momma Gaia. This is a beautiful time to do that. This is a beautiful time to make an offering to her, to make a pledge to her, I'm hearing, to make a vow to her. So for those of you that resonate very strongly with being starseeds and not fitting in here whatsoever, this is about making a vow to her. I'm also hearing the word pact. Pact. There's a portal in making a pact is what I'm hearing. They're showing me the standing stone as a portal. There are laws connected to a pact. Okay. I'm hearing soul contract as well with that. So it's like a soul contract. Obviously, there are parallels there. But there's a portal in making a pact. And now they're showing me, I'm seeing the High Priestess with that. She's also connected to this card as well. And I'm seeing this Trinity energy right here. Coming through again is cyclical energy. And the triangle connected, oh wow, to the energies of the divine feminine, but also the divine masculine, when we see it either upright or pointing downward. Okay, back to this Queen of Chalices again. Emotional alchemy is what I'm hearing. So this is very connected to empaths again, We got everybody coming out here, of course. This energy of the Queen of Chalices is very much about also what I'm getting here, your own self-care, reflecting the self-care of Mother Earth. Wow. And there's some energies here of, I'm also getting that biophoton energy again. Oh, and being around water. This has come through so much. Even, there's something, water, this connection with water and light and water and consciousness all being the same thing. I'm being referred to the work here of Vita Austin. Again, seeing that biophoton energy. So when you're working with water, you're also working with light. That's what's coming through for that. That might resonate for you, especially I'm getting a lot of Mintakan energy, Lemurian energy coming through with that as well. The energy, interesting. I'm hearing the codes of Atlantis, the codes of Lemuria. Okay, for some of us, during this time of the year is a really great thing to try and learn from the mistakes of technology. And they're directing me back to Atlantis, and they're directing me to this geoengineering crap. Okay? Two of Wands, more portal energy as well coming through, because we've got the 11 with the standing stone, and also the energy of the Two of Wands coming through here as well. Walking through a portal. This time of the year is a portal. I'm hearing it's a portal for Mother Earth. It's a portal for Momma Gaia. A portal for the Divine Feminine. I'm being shown the energies of the womb here. And I'm also being given making sure that you are continuing to do your practice, whatever that is for you. What is your practice? Is it a practice of meditation? Is it your spiritual, religious practice, right? Is it your energetic practices, your shielding practices, your grounding the light practices, your physical practices, your practice of kindness, I'm even hearing, your practice of resolution, of finding resolution and diplomacy, your practice of discernment, any kind of practice. Your practice of authenticity is what I'm hearing. Any kind of practice. Keep practicing. And funny enough, it's like, this is not about practice makes perfect. It's a way of being. It's a way of being. Okay, one final card now. They're showing me the Chariot now. Yeah, I'm actually seeing the Chariot card in the Mystic Mondays deck, which looks almost like, it reminds me of like Helios and Hyperion, and this whole concept of the sun traveling across the sky. Yeah. One final solar insight for here. Archangel Sandalphon, Archangel Raphael, Commander Ashtar. He wants me to also pick this one. Gratitude. Be grateful for all you have. Look at those beautiful colors in there. And they're on a beach here. Look at that. The beautiful sun energy. The practice of gratitude. The practice of gratitude. We had one pop out here. Dragon. Discover your courage. Okay. As a side note here, this is a huge confirmation. And look, the snake on my wall here, Pythia, is coming in as a double confirmation. So snakes and dragons being connected, right? Now, there has been a lot of dragon energy going on the last little while, and since I have been here in Greece especially, it has picked up quite a bit. Dragon energy is very connected to Mother Earth and very connected to the elements and very connected to light and water, okay? The other thing that I really love about this color combination here is these are the colors for me, very similar to Archangel Sandalphon and Archangel Raphael, okay? This is earth healing. Opportunity knocks at the bottom of the deck, go for it. This solstice energy is an opportunity. Look at that beautiful, look at that, the imagery of seeing the earth here as a bubble. All the different realms, all the different spheres, all the different galaxies is what I'm hearing. Again, coming back to this solar insight, the solar insights, which is kind of another way that also Commander Ashtar is explaining light codes. That's what it is. Like, and every star has its own set of solar insights. Isn't that interesting? Every star has its own set of light codes. And it's incredibly important right now, whenever this video, this message finds you and you find it, to connect to our star in this incarnation here on Momma Gaia. Okay? Soul. Sun. Interesting how the word soul, and he was pointing this to me earlier, sounds like soul, our actual soul. That's not a coincidence. That's not haphazard, is what he's saying. And I'm hearing with that soul of the universe, the soul that is you, that is whole. Okay? I'm going to end this reading here. Thank you, Commander Ashtar. Thank you, Archangel Sandalphon. Thank you, Archangel Raphael, for being here with us. I thank you for being here, sharing your time and your energy with us through the portal of this video in this space. I'm sending you so much love and many, many blessings. This summer solstice and Litha, if you practice it, whatever your practice is, sending you so much love wherever you are, in love and liberation always.